message is where people do see how many of these dogs are adopted. I'm hoping I can bring kind of shine a spotlight on the myriad of shelters in Hong Kong. I think 5 years ago, I could name 3, maybe 4. Now I'm realizing there's dozens and dozens of shelters all over Hong Kong doing amazing work. I want to shine a spotlight on them. And I also want to shine a spotlight just on how many of these dogs are from shelter backgrounds, and they're just as loved, just as loyal, just as wonderful animals. So for the Real Wags, it is very much a positive, wanting to show people that dogs are great, but also I do want to have that kind of undercurrent message of just showing how many of them have been unlucky in life, where they spent maybe sometimes just 5 minutes in the shelter. Sometimes they've spent far too long. But that's kind of the Real Wags that we're focusing on at the moment, and that's a fun passion project. I get to meet a lot of people.
He was rescued only about 6 months, so we have no idea what happened to him in the first 6 months, and then the rest is history. And he's happened to be 35 kilos. So yes, absolutely, there's huge shelter. And there's small shelters like the one that he got adopted, Hong Kong Paws, and then Hong Kong Dog Rescue. Everybody's doing great work. And I think that if we will, I'm sure, talk a little bit more about Adopt Don't Shop, but fantastic to be able to actually give exposure to people about dogs. I mean, my sister and I were lucky enough we grew up in Sai Kung, actually. Since we were little, we had village dogs already, and then we had a smaller dog, and then of course now we have our own dog. So we start kind of seeing the culture of raising dogs actually, and people's perception about different village dogs changing in the past few years. About Tongao, we're very excited and very pleased that finally they're getting some limelight as well.
Oh, I fully agree on that. I think for me growing up, I knew nothing about shelter dogs. I knew nothing about Adopt Don't Shop. I had no idea there was any issues or problems with the kind of breeding situation with pet shops. For me, it was just normal. And certainly my first few family dogs were all bought from breeders. And I'm not ashamed of that. They were wonderful dogs. But now looking back on it, it was purely just lack of, I mean, I was a child, but my parents' lack of awareness and my lack of awareness. I think it's only really for me being the last 10 years that I've become aware of the scale of the problem, the myriad of different issues we're facing, and how many dogs there are out there that need a family. And of course, it has made everything so much worse. I follow shelters all over the world, and unfortunately, the issues we have in Hong Kong are not unique to us at all. And you see it in every guise, and different countries have different challenges. But there's a big issue there with lack of awareness, lack of education, lack of messaging. And I think kind of any little bits that we can do to share that message that these dogs they're just unlucky. They got unlucky in life for some reason, and that's why they've ended up in a shelter. And they deserve a home just like anyone else. So I'm really I'm pleased you have seen that change. I've definitely seen that change in myself, and definitely seeing it in Hong Kong as we move towards a greater awareness of dogs' needs and the benefits of having them.
Absolutely, and I think you're right. I mean, some of course get abandoned, which is a bit of a situation in Hong Kong, but a lot of them is animal welfare around that they forget to desex them, and whoops, that's 15 puppies. How am I going to get you 15 homes? It's all about education, and the people like you can do, and the shelter can do is really amazing. So